Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom, shalom. Welcome to Breaking Babylon with Elder Asiy'el in Israel. All right, before we get started, I want to make sure y'all can hear and see me clearly. Make sure y'all like and share the video. All right, so want to make sure y'all can hear and see me clearly before we get started. Once again, shalom to the brothers and sisters. Hope y'all are doing well out there. All right, so we want to make sure y'all can hear and see me clearly. Also, don't forget to share it. Share the video before we get started. Share it. Let everybody know that we're live. We got a good topic tonight. As you can see in the title, the degradation of the black woman. WAP. Some wet AP. That's what we dealing with. Okay, so the degradation of the black woman. All right, so we loud and clear. Appreciate that. So go ahead and like the video, share the video, and give y'all a couple seconds to do that. And then we're going to jump right into it, all right? So if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, just subscribe now, Breaking Babylon with Elder Asiy'el. Also, don't forget about our YouTube channels for our church, Israelite Temple of the Living God. Subscribe to our channels there, all right? So let me see these shares. Make sure these shares go up. Let me check it out, see what we got. All right, so... okay, there we go. We looking good. All right, so now we're gonna get right into our topic, brothers and sisters. All right. Okay, we're gonna get right into our topic. Let me see here, make sure everything is good here. Yeah, we good with that. All right, so brothers and sisters, we're gonna get into it tonight. Once again, appreciate y'all tuning in tonight with me on another episode of Breaking Babylon with Elder Asiy'el. We're going to get right into it. The degradation of the black woman, right? So everybody know what's going on right now. Everybody has seen the video with Cardi B and Meg the Stallion, right? So, of course, we live in a world where, people have the right to do what they want to do, right? So this is not a video of whether they have a right to do anything. They have a right to express their feminine, whatever you want to call it, or whatever women want to deal with it today. So we're not. This is not our argument against that. Our argument or our issue is displaying these things on the mainstream media, YouTube, when we have children that look up to these singers, that look up and watch YouTube and see those videos. Like I told brothers and sisters that years ago when you got on YouTube, YouTube was for content creators, meaning that if you were a content creator, you might not have a big platform. They will blast your content on the mainstream. Now when you go to YouTube, it's not that. They're blasting content from people with large platforms. Why? Because now it's all about promotion with YouTube and making money. They know they can't make money off your content because people don't know you. Your platform is not as big as, say, an Usher or 50 Cent or whoever. So, or Cardi B or Meg the Stallion, right? So your platform is not as big. So your stuff is not plastered all over YouTube on the homepage, right? So that's the issue. Now, with that said, what's happening? Children log on to YouTube, right? They log on to YouTube, and what are they seeing? What is being taught to our children, right? WAP, wet AP. This is what's being taught them. This is what they're seeing when they log into YouTube. Now, I tried it a few minutes ago, and let me show you what I tried. So I actually logged out of our YouTube channel, right? I don't want to do it now because I have YouTube up stream, but you can test it yourself. Maybe they changed it. They changed it in a matter of a couple hours, but a couple hours ago I tested it. I was on the phone with Officer Karam, and I said, let me see if I can log out of my YouTube account and just go into, just like a kid would do, just type in YouTube on the browser and see if I can look at this video. No type of parental guidelines or barriers. You can just click on it and look at it. Right? Oh, well, it's the clean version. Well, I don't know what's clean about this song, or what. Even the clean version is terrible. Right? So now I went and looked at the video, right, brothers and sisters? I looked at it, and I have to tell you, brothers and sisters, that after hearing something like that, now let me, and if you haven't checked it out, please look at the video without children in the room. Matter of fact, you might want to take your children out the house. Matter of fact, you might want to drop them off at grandma's house to look at this video. Pretty much you have soft porn on YouTube. And the lyrics behind the song is very degrading to black women, the black people in general, the black culture. Now, what am I saying? The lyrics, it's nothing wrong with, if you're texting this to your husband or to your wife, that's between you and your husband and wife. There's nothing wrong with that. That's, if y'all like getting down like that, then that's between you and your husband or your wife. But when it's plastered out on mainstream, on YouTube, where children that can be influenced in this type of behavior, that's when it becomes an issue. And it's funny that the Jewish people, remember, the people that's behind this type of rhetoric, this type of behavior, are Jewish people. And they understand that sex sells. So these are the same people that wanted to make Nick Cannon apologize for saying that we are the Jews. But then later on, these are the same people that promote WAP. Now, I don't, if we are to define what's hate or hatred, that's hatred against a group. Why would you promote that on a group? Oh, well, that's what they wanted to do. Well, shouldn't you as a person, as a Jewish man that's over them, say, well, no, this might be too vulgar for your community. It might be, but we have children that watch you. Let's not promote these type of things. See, but when it comes to you, brothers and sisters, they don't care. It does not matter. What matters is the bottom line. What is the bottom line? That green money. So they promote these things, put it out there and say, well, this is a woman's right to freedom and all these things, right? And then it gets women on board, the feminist movement, the Me Too movement. Yeah, we have a voice. We should be able to express our sexual orientation. We all should be able to express how we love sex, right? This is what they do. And then when you speak to them about it, they say, well, men been doing it all day. See, it's not about whether it's about right. It's about being equal to a man. It has nothing to do with your sexual preference, because I've never known a woman not to tell you her sexual preference, right? You just don't have to do it all the way in the open. No one's saying a woman can have what she like in sex. Everybody have what they like when you with your partner. Right? But what it is women want to be equal to a man. And you know what that comes from? The Europeans. Right? They want this internal infighting with black people and Hispanic people to where we can never come together as a culture, as a people. A nation divided cannot stand. So let them internally fight. Let them internally destroy themselves. By what? Making a woman strong as the man and feminizing the men. This what you see happening. So anytime now we speak against this video that Meg the Stallion and Cardi B put out, then we'll say, oh, they're misogynist. See, we're against women. It has nothing to do with us being against women. It's about us. It's about, first of all, we see everything in the lens of the Most High God. So it has nothing to do with me personally. God is not pleased with this. So before anybody label me as misogynist, right? We have to understand, I was raised by my grandmother, a strong black woman, a woman that I love dearly. My grandmother raised a lot of, not only me, my sisters, my nephews, right? My brothers. So my grandma I was raised by a woman. So I'll be a fool to have hatred for a woman. But let me tell you about my grandmother, right? Let me show you about my grandmother. My grandmother, and I believe that she raised, even though she wasn't in the truth and she didn't believe in what we believe in being an Israelite, I saw my grandma do things like, my grandfather would go to work, come home. He'd give my grandmother the check, right? She'll take care of all the bills. She would still cook and clean and do all those things for my grandfather. Right? When my grandfather passed, then I became the man of the house, right? And my grandma did certain things where I never saw my grandma when she was on her cycle. Like, I never saw her pads or none of that in the restrooms or nothing, right? My grandma would tell me stories like when she was a kid that, or I never saw my grandma panties. We would go washing, right? We would go, because we didn't have a washer and dryer, right? I would take her to go washing, and she would have her underwear and bra in a separate bag, right? And set off to the side and say, no, I'll wash this. Everything else I can put in there. But her blouse and panties and bras, it was in a separate bag, closed off. And she would tell me how when she was when they were younger, how they would wash their clothes, right? And before dark, when it got dark, they would run out there and put it on the clothesline to dry. And before the morning came, they would go back and take it off before any men would see them, would see their blouses and bras and underwear. And I'm thinking like, that, what the hell happened to them type of women? See, and that's why I said this topic is the degradation of the black woman, because we know us as brothers, we have fallen short of what we're supposed to be, right? And and to be honest, the woman has really held it down for us all this time we've been absent. But what you're seeing now is the decline of the woman. Even when we were not in the house, in the home, the woman held it down for the children. She raised the children, right? And this is where, but what happened is the music industry and the powers that be took advantage of our situation. The father was not there, and they introduced the black woman to what? Independent. The feminist movement, right? Me Too. They introduced that. There was opportunity for a woman that's already pissed off at the man now to vent her frustration, right? Against that man that's absent. So this is what you're seeing now, is now the degradation. What the world will tell you is it's women now expressing themselves, getting freedom to express themselves. See, but is it really that? See? Now let me show you some. You have certain of the Jewish people, right, that promote this music. You know what they say about their own community? Let me take a drink. This is what they say about their own communities. They said, we'll never call our own women bitches and hoes. These are the same people that sign that our brothers and sisters, rappers and rappers and R&B singers who are signed to their labels. They said, we'll never call our women bitches and hoes, but it's okay if you do it. What is wrong with us as a people? See? So what's happened to us is we've been given so much freedom. Remember, I brought out last week. We've been given so much freedom, but with a reprobate mind. Meaning we have no clue on where to go. The saying that we used to hear, that an idle mind is the devil's playground. That's what you have. Now you have the black woman fighting against the black man, and the black man fighting against the black woman. And let me put this out here. We do not condone. Look, we're against any brothers or sisters. We don't like rappers who talk against our sisters. We don't listen to music where rappers are speaking against calling women B's and H's and all those things. We don't support that. That's evil and should be spoken against too. But remember, we live in a society that we've been doing this for so long that become the norm for the man. But we are against that too. But since we have declined as a people, we don't want our women to decline. We need a strong backbone. But what's happening? The only people that's degrading ourselves is black people. White people are not calling themselves whores and these hoes and sluts over here. They're not doing that. And not on and if they do, it's not on a mass scale like it is with black people. We have made it culture to call ourselves bitches and hoes. Excuse my French. That's a part of our culture. You see sisters walking around now, hey B, hey H, as a term of endearment, like saying, hey, what's up, friend? Nah, B, hey B, hey ho. That's how they talk to each other. What happened to us as a people? A royal people. The Most High God said, you are a royal priesthood, a holy nation. What happened to us? See? And y'all might get some freezing, some the drop frames, so excuse me on that. But what happened to us as a people? How do we get to this point? right? How did we get here? We know because we read the Bible. We believe in what the curses say, that we fail as a people because we disobey God's commandments. We all believe that. We agree to that, right? Right. One moment, brothers and sisters. They trying to stop us, but we're gonna keep going. All right. So now, like I said, if y'all see it, it's kind of choppy. Just stay with us. Stay with it. Get the message. All right. So now, check this out. So, with that said, what happened to us as a people? We know, like I said, we disobey God's commandments. Therefore, the God gave us over to a reprobate mind. He gave us over to a people with a reprobate mind, right? Meaning our oppressors. Now, we can't blame the white man. We can't, because now we live in a time now where we should know better. Even though our foreparents didn't have all the knowledge in the world, they knew enough to where they raised us to be respectful. They always told us, respect your elders, right? Respect people that's older than you. Respect each other. Don't do evil to any group, right? Always respect people. But now we have grown into a culture as black people and Hispanic people where we don't. It's a thing to where we shouldn't respect our elders. We speak against our elders. We don't respect people. Every man wants to do what he feel like is right. Right? So we're gonna go into this, right? I don't want to keep going because I want to go into what we're dealing with here. Is that we can't totally blame our issues on white people and our upbringing, because the majority of us had a good upbringing, because even though we was poor, we was on housing, Section 8, government assistance, the upbringing was right. Right? The upbringing was right. But down the line, we went away from that upbringing and did what? See? Well, what's popular? What's trending? What gets the most likes? See, this video is not going to get that much likes. Why? Because it's speaking against that what our foreparents, our grandmothers and mothers tried to instill in us. But if I was on here saying how much I liked that video and how much we should keep that up and women should have the right to do be like that, then this video will go viral. And I'm going to show you an example of that, right? I'm going to show you an example of that. It's funny because I don't necessarily actually agree with Beyonce on anything, but I do agree with Beyonce on one thing, right? So she put out this, and remember, I don't want y'all thinking, well, this brother said he agreed with Beyonce. No, what I'm saying is, in a time where black people our awareness of black people is on a rise, Beyonce decided to do something that what she considered was right. Meaning this black is king thing. She went over to Africa, right? And just tried to expose the culture of Africa, showing that black people, we descended from royal people, right? We're not savages and slaves and hoes and bees and all those things, black and Hispanic people. So she tried to show us the other side, which has been hidden from us. Like the Most High said, the truth that has been hid from the saints. The mysteries have been hid. So she brought The Black is King. Dropped the soundtrack, right? It got some views. But I'm going to show you something. Watch this. I'm going to show you, brothers and sisters, something. Watch this. I want to show you how backwards we are as a people. Right? And I want to show you that black people, in the sense of, in the mindset that we have now, we will never be able to rise out of our condition because our mindsets are not set on a goal. It's set on a goal for a short time, but when we feel like we've completed the goal, then we go off and do what we want to do. Right? Now watch this. Now, I'm going to show you Beyonce. She dropped a video, right, for her Black is King. And I'm going to show you something. Now, I'm not going to play the song, but I am going to show you, brothers and sisters, on the screen here. Is if you look up here, you'll see Beyonce's Black is King, right? Beyonce, Shadow, Wale, Major Lazer. I don't know these people, but it got 17 million views. Okay, so now let me zoom in because I want y'all to be able to see this. It received 17 million views. It's been up for a week. Check it out. It's been up for a week, right? So now watch this. 17 million views up for 1 week. Now, let's go to WAP. WAP has been up for 6 days. 84 million views. Brothers and sisters, do you see a problem? Is there a problem with this? On one side, Beyonce is trying to promote that black people have a rich heritage, that we are respectable, moral people, ethical people. We are descended from kings and queens and all this, right? Then 6 days, later, WAP is dropped and it gets 84 million views. Let me go back. Let me show you. Black is King. Oh, excuse me. So Black is King. Look, 1 week ago, 17 million views. That's it. This video, Beyonce is saying how we are kings and queens. We are descended from a royal people. See? Now wait. Now go back. Let's go back to WAP. Just to make sure we verify what we're seeing here. Now you go back to WAP. 6 days ago, 84 million views. Do you think it's something wrong with black people? Something is wrong, brothers and sisters. Something is wrong. One side is trying to promote us to get us in a better light. The other side is degrading us and it gets more views. So I'm saying this is how destroyed we are as a people. See, and guess what? It's no coincidence that they dropped this video right in the middle of all what's going on here and right in the middle of when Beyonce drops her Black is King. That's not a coincidence. Why? Because they don't want you thinking that you a king and royalty. When you start thinking like a king, you put it down. You put away being hoes and thoughts, right? Queens don't dress like this. Let me show you. Queens do not dress like this. Look at the thumbnail. Queens don't dress like this. So the minute they see that you started thinking like a king and a queen, then you'll stop dressing like this and be more respectable. So it's damage control. Hey, let's drop the WAP. Drop the WAP right now because Beyonce is gaining traction. Black people gonna start thinking they kings and they gonna separate themselves from us. They're not gonna do those things, sell dope and all those things that they once did. They're gonna throw that stuff away and start looking into their culture. Let's throw the WAP. Drop it, brothers and sisters. It's not a coincidence. Everything happens by design. It's designed to happen that way. Everything is a counterbalance. They do this to balance things, then they throw a counter there. Now, a majority of our people do what? We'll fight for something for so long, but soon as an alternative comes that's picking at us that we really want, we'll fly to that. Right? This is what that video was designed for. See? And you see, and it's showing you where the mindset of the people is. It's not about being black, king and coming back to your culture. It's about being hoes and thoughts. See? Now, let me go into it. Now, brothers and sisters, we have to like I said, we have to take this thing for what it is. right? And I'm gonna go back to my screen. I want you to see something here, right? And once again, we always have to put out a disclaimer that we are not against women. We don't hate women. If it wasn't for a woman, I wouldn't be here. We appreciate our women, but we want our women to return back to who they are. Royalty. Ethical, respectable people. If you go back and you look in Africa and you look in South America and Mexico, they didn't dress like this. They was royal people. Respectable people from respectable backgrounds with good upbringings. What happened? We came over to America, and America gave us something else. And they told a woman, the only way you're going to get respect if you demand it, you shouldn't dress like that. You should dress how you want. See, that's what they do, is programming. The only way you're going to get your right and people respect you is you're following in that household wifey thing. You shouldn't do that. That's old. That's old school. That's during the patriarchs. That's during the Bible times. If you fall into that, see, nobody will ever respect you. See, if you just want to be a wife, nobody's going to respect you. You should be, you should come up and demand your freedom and rights. See? And what happened? You got groups like the Black Lives Matter movement who says they're against heteronormative relationships. They are against men and women being together. See? So when you give that rope, see what happens? And Satan, this is all Satan's kingdom here. It says Satan came to kill and destroy, to deceive. So what has Satan done? Here, let me give them the rope so they can hang themselves. We can't blame Satan. Satan has given you the rope to hang yourself. Let me ask this question. How can a black man protect you if you're fighting against him, if you want to be on his level? Now, I'm not saying black men are where we need to be. Of course not. We have a lot to work on as black men, Hispanic men. We have a lot to work on. We have to first get back in the household. But how can he get in the household when you have been trained to be independent? You have been trained to be a lion and a dragon in the house, like the Apocrypha say. He said, I'd rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. So how can we begin to build when you have been trained to hate me? Let me say it again. How can we begin to be a family and get our house back in order when you have been trained by the powers that be to hate me and to look down upon me? See? And then the system is not designed for the man. It's designed for the woman to succeed. See? So it's not that a man, he does not want to succeed. He wants to, but the system is against him. The black man is the most threatened man on the planet Earth. Listen, and when the black man wake up, Hispanic man wake up and come back to his true identity, it's a wrap. Hang it up. Put it on the clothesline. It's done. This is what they don't. They don't want black and Hispanic men to rise up and be men. They don't want that. So they keep our women in constant fighting with one another, with each other. She's fighting against a heterosexual relationship. She's fighting against what they would call heteronormative relationships. She's fighting against those things that make family. And is being trained to be independent, not to rely on men. And when a man comes, she said, well, I can't depend on, my mama told me not to depend on no man. See? That's why your mama miserable. See? But we have been trained for this. So what must it be? Like the Bible said, what must we do if we've been trained to have a thought pattern that's against God, against nature? You don't see lions saying, I don't need a man. They know they need a man because when a lioness, right, is within her cubs, she knows that the lion is out doing what? He's marking his territories and protecting his family. But when when the male lion is killed or is no longer amongst the family, what does the female lion? She has to keep moving because she's in constant fear because her protector is not there. So animals are in line with what God wanted within nature. But what happened to people, humans that He made? See? So now, look at your screen here. Now, this is called the 4 destructive stereotypes about black women. Now, I'm going to put it out there. I don't believe they stereotypes at all. I believe it's actually 100% true and can be proven that our women fit these categories here. Not just because he's a misogynist. Not because of that, because proof, evidence. I am a black man. I've been around black people all my life. I am well qualified to speak on black people. I have a black mother, a black father, black sisters, black nephews, black brothers. I am well qualified to speak on this behalf. Now, but you see here, I don't know if this brother is black or whatever he may be. It's supposedly by Javon. I can't see the rest of that. I don't know. But listen. You have the first one, the mammy. Right? The archetype of the portly, asexual, fierce caretaker. Brought to life in Gone with the Wind, reinforced the absurdity that black women would bear any burden, not because they have to, because they live to. The anti-blackness intrinsic to the mammy caricature has divine expectations for how black women should relate to family, partners, churches, and employers, giving and never taking. Anybody know women like that? The sapphire character. Let's see what the sapphire character is. Now, for something to be a stereotype, we will have to. Well, first, we're going too fast. We're going way too fast. Let me go into this first. I want to show you something. We have to properly understand what a stereotype is first. All right? So let's see. By definition, what is a stereotype? Now, I'm going to show you the screen again because I don't want to be, I want y'all to be able to see for yourselves. So let's define what a stereotype is. It says stereotype, a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person or thing, right? Over the side here, it says a social psychology. A stereotype is an overgeneralized belief about a particular category of people. It is an expectation that people might have about every person or a particular group. The type of expectation can vary. It can be, for example, an expectation about a group's personality, preference, or ability. So this is what a stereotype is, according to them, it's a widely but held, fixed, or oversimplified image or idea or a particular type of person or thing. All right, so now let's go back to this. These things can be proven because we live in a society that's exact. See, when a stereotype becomes true and no longer a stereotype is when you have evidence to support it. We have evidence to support this. We have mammies out here. Right? We have the sapphire caricature. Let's read. What is the sapphire caricature? It says, real white women in the antebellum era were thought delicate damsels. Black women who worked alongside men were something harder. But the mid 20th century, the hard black woman was angry too. And a fussing, emasculating wife on Amos and Andy became her avatar. So that's a show. So it says the black woman became angry and a fussing, emasculating wife. Diary of the Angry Black Woman or Black Angry, whatever it's called, Tyler Perry's movie. And every time you see that they portray black women, they portray them as what? Angry. Every time you see them on sports, not sports, on rapping, Cardi B, they talking about killing people and selling dope and all these things. Angry black women. So it's no longer a stereotype. As a culture, that's how we identify with each other as being our sisters angry all the time. You get with brothers, they say, well, brother, why don't you date black women? Man, because they hard to get along with. We have songs in support of that. Independent. So it's no longer a stereotype. We can prove it. Now, when the guy brought out independent, women could have been like, hell no, we're not doing this. But what did women do? Women everywhere were singing how independent they are. It's no longer a stereotype. Am I lying? Let the church say amen. Because these caricatures of black women exist. But the mainstream media want to make it seem like it's a stereotype. See, if we can never identify with the truth, we'll always stay within what we're doing. We'll never be faced with the truth. This is the truth. Black people as a culture, this is how we identify. We got, how many of y'all know Sapphire? An angry black woman. She always mad for no reason. And I'm not saying women don't be mad. Yeah, you have white women that's mad. You have Asian women. But as a culture, black people are known for having women like this. No matter how general or decorous a black woman is, she is suspected of being a ravaging hardening. Just ask Michelle Obama or Hollywood hitmaker Sharonda Rhimes, who was called an angry black woman by the New York Times. See, the New York Times called them angry black women. That's how they see black women. You want to know why? You want to know why they see black women like that? Because this right here. That's how they see black women. They don't know our culture because they're not in our neighborhoods. Only thing white people know is what they see on TV. So we, as black people, portray the image on what people see about us. It's our fault. So when they walk around and say we angry black women, we over-sexualize, we have the Sapphire and Jezebel caricatures, because that's what they see when we rapping and singing and dancing. That's what they see. So if you can't get mad at white people for looking at us the way we do, well, we portray ourselves that way. See? So that's why they call the angry black woman. And of course, we understand that anytime a black woman comes in some type of power, Hispanic woman, if she show her authority, we understand that white people get afraid of that. That's not the issue we have. We don't mind our sisters showing authority and doing that as long as she got a man and she know when to turn that thing off. You can't go home and start running your house. We got a problem. But when you go to you work and you in a supervisor position and you showing your authority and you being fair and being like, it's nothing wrong with that. But when you bring your behind to the house, leave it at the door. Turn that switch off. Okay, I'm a wife now. See? Now, listen. Let's go to the Jezebel caricature, right? It says, the myth of a ferocious sexuality helped antebellum society excuse the routine sexual exploitation of enslaved black women. The persistence of this belief makes black women more vulnerable to sexual assault, but less likely to be believed when they are violated, which I believe in that. That is true. Fear of Jezebel also often causes black women to deny human sexual urges to prove propaganda about them wrong, right? So but this person is going into countering the caricatures placed on black women, the Jezebel. But we're gonna show you what all these different things mean here. We're gonna show you the mammy. And what they do is just showing you an example of why they call these things. Right? But it's not a stereotype because the Jezebel spirit is what you see here. What do brothers say, man? Even when I was in the world, I heard people say that, yeah, man, she got a Jezebel spirit on her. And you might be a woman that's was what we would call back then a hoe. Hoe and a Jezebel was synonymous. Same thing. See? So when somebody say, well, a black woman got that Jezebel spirit, this is what they talking about. See, and you might see this. You might see one of those white women. A white woman might come out and do some horse like you see there on your screen. Then next album, they make a Christian album. Everybody forgive it. They make a Christian album and get all their fans back and say, oh, I was going through a dark place at that time. But see, they don't look at black women like this. See, the reason our Cardi B and our sister Megan Thee Stallion is like this, because they're in a dark place. This is what black women have been trained to behave as, like this. They're in a dark place. White women go to a dark place, do this, and come out of it, and everything is forgiven. See? Let's go back. The matriarch, right? The greatest threat to black community is women held in household. Now, it's not a threat. The 1965 Mohanian report released by the United States Department of Labor said so. Unquestioning belief in this assessment means single black mothers and their children are demonized. A low black marriage rates can be used as cudgel against black women, even though America as a whole is marrying less. So we're not concerned with America. We're concerned with our people. So what this is saying is what he is saying is it shouldn't be a problem that black women don't marry. It is a problem that black women marry, because if black women are not marrying, they'll be doing stuff like this. This is why they're not marrying, because they acting like this. They out getting they WAP on. See? So they're not marrying. Because people are telling them, like the Black Lives Matter movement, that they come to dismantle heterosexual relationships, heteronormative thinking. They come to dismantle heteronormative thinking. They don't want man and woman households. They don't want that. They want you out doing this. Now, another question I had is this. If this song is about, because I listened to the song, it's about them and about men and how it's aimed toward men. Why is it that they all over each other? Can the church say amen? If this video is about them being express themselves as women and no longer showing their sexuality against men, and in the song they talking about taking it from men and having sex with men, but why they all over each other? So what's the real intention of the video? See, everything goes back to LGBT. Everything goes back to LGBT. Y'all understand that? So it has nothing to do with women's rights. Nothing to do with that. Women, y'all been having rights. It has everything to do with to secretly promote the LGBT agenda. If this song is about having sex with men, if you listen to the lyrics, they talking about what they gonna do to men and all that. Why are they on each other? Y'all see the point? Now let's go to this. Now we understand it. Now I want to show you something. Who was Jezebel? Because we just read a while ago about the Jezebel caricature, right? It says black women have been identified as the mammy, right? The Sapphire character. We're gonna go deeper into those caricatures. The Jezebel and the independent black woman, right? The matriarch, the one that holds down the house, right? All of these things can be proven true. So it's not a stereotype. That's how our people are as a culture. But let's just go into it real quick. Who was Jezebel? Now, Jezebel is a biblical figure, a woman that was married to King Ahab. All right, so if anybody listening that's not familiar with the Bible, the term comes from a woman, a queen in the Bible named Jezebel. All right, so now I want to go into it and show you. Just to give you an idea of what the Jezebel. So when you see a brother say certain things like, "Oh, she got a Jezebel, she has a Jezebel spirit on her," this is what he mean, or she's a Jezebel. Because you hear the term all the time, and people that's not in the Bible, people use it loosely and don't understand what they're really saying. Let me get it to pop up here. All right, so while we're waiting on it to pop up, make sure y'all like the video, like it, share it on your social media platforms. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, Breaking Babylon with Elder Asiy'el Ben Israel. All right. We usually go live on Wednesdays, but I had to change it to Thursday. But be looking for us on every Wednesday at 7:30 or every other Wednesday at 7:30. Where we'll be bringing out topics like this that has something to do with what's going on, the recent events, news, or things of that nature. But we have to be able to support the work when you see a brother or sister doing these type of things. All right. So it's not one to pop up, but I'll just read it for you, brothers and sisters. So who is Jezebel, right? Let me see if it'll come up this time. Let me get the book here. Right, so who is Jezebel? Okay, here we go. It popped up for me. All right, now look at your screen here. Jezebel, it says this. This is from the book called Who's Who of the Bible. So if you're new to the Bible, you want to better understand the Bible, I recommend this book. You can buy it on Amazon or probably Barnes and Nobles, but it's called Who's Who of the Bible. All right. And what it does is give you the name of these, when you're reading the Bible, you'll see different names in the Bible that you might not understand or know who they are. It gives you a breakdown, a basic breakdown of who they are and what they did, okay? It's very helpful. All right, so now, Jezebel. It says, Jezebel was the daughter of Ethabal, king of Sidon, and was married to Ahab, son and successor of Omri, king of Israel. She was a strong-willed woman who clearly dominated her husband. So when you see people saying certain things about, she a Jezebel, this is what they mean. This is the caricature or the character in the Bible that they're referring to. It says there, she was a strong-willed woman who clearly dominated her husband. Now, we're not fearful of a strong-willed woman, but it's a time to where that you being strong-willed should be in line with your husband. But you know what I see most of the time? I see this. I see strong-willed women get simps. What do I mean by that? Soft men that they know they can run. They get soft men. They run up and down, to and fro like Satan and do what they want to do. So you see that a lot because some women want to be strong-willed and they don't want to get with an alpha male because they know, hey, that's not working. That's not going to work over here. So they get with simps, beta males, and they run them. That's not right either. And you men that are beta males, come on, man. Look between your legs. The Most High know what he's doing. Listen to your voice. Come on, man. But I'm wrong for that. Let me stop because, But anyway, she was strong-willed who clearly dominated her husband. She fostered in Israel the worship of Melkart, the Phoenician Baal god, and Ashtoreth, the goddess of fertility. 450 priests or prophets of Baal were maintained by Jezebel in the capital of Samaria as part of her household. Shrines to her native gods sprang up on the hilltops, and a temple of Baal was constructed in the palace. It was said that the king himself was drawn into the alien forms of worship. So why did I bring this up? Anytime when the balance of leadership in the marriage is corrupted, it tends to lead men or the family or the marriage structure to fall. Marriage is designed for it to be a certain order, a divine order, which the Bible calls the Most High is supposed to be your head, Christ is supposed to be over your marriage, and then the man, woman, and children. Anything outside of that is against nature and against the Most High God. So it's bound to fall. And you see an example with this. With Ahab, what happened to him? He began to worship because he listened to his woman. Because she was strong-willed. He was a simp. He listened to his woman and he began to worship alien gods, deities, foreign gods. that was against the gods that our God told us to worship. See? And this is what you're seeing when a woman is left to lead. Now understand me clearly. I am not in no way saying a woman has no potential to lead. What I'm saying is, I believe in the Holy Scriptures. I believe God don't make mistakes. I believe God has a certain hierarchy in the marriage, and I believe that should be followed. A strong-willed woman still can be married. She still can be married and still be a strong woman. But when it interferes with her marriage, then it's sin. It says that it wasn't the woman made first. It was the man that was created first. The Lord said it's not good for man to be alone. Who was first? It's not good for man to be alone. And the woman was created from the man, meaning she is the property of the man. See, and that's what they're against. See, that's misogynist talk. See, that's no, this is Bible talk. This is the Most High God talk. This is Christ talk. Jesus Christ said man and woman shall cleave unto each other and become one flesh. This is Holy God. This is Holy Ghost. This is Holy Spirit talk. I don't hate no woman. I love all women. And all women should love men. Especially husbands. And I would take up for any woman. If I see a Asian woman being beat up by a man, I'm going to jump into it because she's a woman. If I see a white woman being abused, I would jump into it because that's what we're supposed to do. We are men. But culturally speaking, we have a lot to do in our own house with Black and Hispanic people. See? So this is what happened to Jezebel and Ahab. Ahab started listening to his woman. He started worshiping her gods. And look what happened to him. He was, most I say he was wicked. Right? So now let's keep going because I want to show you something else that goes into this. All right? Now, let's go into here. Now let's go into Exodus. Let's go into Genesis 3:17. I want to show you that. I want to show you this with Adam and Eve. Right? Let's go to Genesis chapter 3 and verse 17. All right. So listen to this. Let me get that with y'all, brothers and sisters. Genesis 3 and 17. Listen what the Most High say. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife. Now, we know the story. She gave Adam to eat of the tree. Adam ate of it. They knew they were naked, right? The Lord came down and confronted them, say, hey, didn't I tell you why y'all naked? Adam tried to blame the woman. Now, did the Most High say, well, where's your wife? No, he dealt with Adam. Why did he deal with Adam? Because Adam is the head of the house. Eve wasn't walking around talking about she independent. She wasn't saying that she independent. Niggas ain't shit. She wasn't doing that. The Most High went to Adam and said, Adam, what's happening? It was the woman you gave me. He said, all right, well, I'm going to deal with you first, Adam, because what? He says this. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of. Who did the Lord command that to? Adam. He didn't go to the woman. He went to the woman and said, listen. He went to Adam and said, Adam, don't eat of that tree. Don't eat of it. And you know what Adam should have done? He should have went to his woman and he should have been on top of his woman. Oh, he's misogynist. He should have been and said, hey, the Lord said don't eat of this tree. How is it misogynist when I'm not? The Lord said it. God said it. I'm not making up my own rules. That's why the Bible, that's why you can't trick brothers in scriptures with that monogynous stuff. Because we don't do anything off on our own. Our marriage and our relationship with our women is thus saith the Lord. It's of God. So if you got a problem with being in line with me, you got a problem with the Most High God. Is God misogynist? Because we do, thus saith the Lord. Now, I'm not speaking for brothers in the world. They might be like that. We don't see women like that. We don't have a dislike for women. We don't see, and we don't feel that what God has set forth is harming women. Because we know our foremothers, Sarah and Rebecca, who were righteous women, who was an example to our women, who should be an example to our women now, were righteous women that left a good example. And they were strong women too, strong black women, who called Abraham Lord, her master, a strong woman. See? So look at what the Most High did. So he says here, thou shalt not eat of it. So it says, verse 17, though thou shalt not eat of it, curse is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow thou shalt eat of it all the days of thy life. So because you listen to your woman, I'm going to curse you. Because you're supposed to be the man of the house. Of course you value what your wife says. It's a mutual thing when you get married. It's a very mutual thing. But at the end of the day, you have to be a man. Some instances, your wife is going to be right. And you need to take that example and say, okay, yeah, you're right. Let's do it that way. It makes more sense. But ultimately, when something go down in your house, it's on you as the man. For example, back in the old days, you see this on movies. A salesman will come to the door, right? And he'll knock on the door. The woman answer, he say, is the man of the house in? Why do you say that? Couldn't I have just spoken to you? But no, that's improper. It has nothing to do with that man hating women, but it's just proper. It's proper to do that. Why is that? Because you don't see your woman when somebody breaking into the house. You don't see your woman to see what's going on, right? Hey, somebody breaking the house. You want to be a man? Go fight him. No, the man jumps up and he protects his woman and his family. So if you got a sister like that, brother, this is what you do. I'm gonna show you, give you some advice. She want to be a man. Somebody breaking in your house. You lay your behind there and let her go out there and get her behind whooped. You go out there and let her check it. Say, no, you want to be a man? Go out there. Go check and see that noise. The alarm is going off. Go check and see. See? But no, that's a joke. Don't do that, brothers. You still protect your families. But I'm just trying to show you how it's balanced within the marriage. It's balanced between man and woman. But what's happening is the powers that be, these Cardi B's and Meg the Stallion, is trying to break that. It's trying to break that thing. They trying to break it down to where it's no longer that type of order within the marriage. Now marriage is all over the place. Right? So I just wanted to bring that out to y'all and show you that. So now let me show you how this stereotype is true. Now, all of us, not Nicki Minaj, what's this girl? Cardi B and Meg the Stallion, they all talk how they believe in God. Oh, thank you, Jesus and God. And it wouldn't be if one for God, I wouldn't be doing. Now, they think in God for this. Let me show you. They're going to win an award for WAP. They're going to win an award for WAP and then thank God for it. They're going to thank God for WAP. What AP? And for those that don't understand what wet, ASS, vagina. See, they're going to win an award for that and thank Jesus. Now watch this. It's funny how we only want to follow Jesus when it's convenient. But Jesus said that you shouldn't be out there dressed like a whore. That you should be on, your husband only should see your private areas. See, what's sacred to him now if every man can see it? What good is it? So say for example, if I bought a Lamborghini, right? Right? But I let everybody drive it. Everybody can drive it. What good is it? What good is that me buying a Lamborghini if I'm gonna let everybody drive it? So what good is it me marrying you if everybody can see what I have? Makes no sense. Isaiah 3:16. Let's go. Let me show you what the Lord said. So they say it's a stereotype. Let me see what the Most High say. Is this a stereotype that they say against our sisters? Or did the Most High say they was guilty of that in the Bible? Let's read. Isaiah 3:16. Moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty. Matter of fact, let me do it like this. Let me read it in the NASB so y'all can understand the context, right? Isaiah 3:16. I'm going to put it on the screen so y'all can see it yourselves. Listen what it says here. Moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion are proud. That's one of those caricatures of what Sapphire and Jezebel. The mammy character, right? Independent. And walk with heads held high and seductive eyes. Wait, they do what? Wait, they do what? See that? You see what that says? They walk with high heads and seductive eyes. See? Let's go back. And walk with heads held high and seductive eyes, and go along with mincing steps, and tingle the bangles of their feet. See? Y'all can continue to read the rest of it, but it just goes into all the things that we use to do things that they doing like this. See? See? So the Bible supports that, the so-called stereotype placed on black women. The Bible says they were being haughty. They was walking with stretched forth necks. This is not a stereotype. Black women were doing this in the scriptures. See? So now did I not show proof that it's no longer a stereotype? We deal with this as a people. That's why it need to be fixed. But if we continue to ignore it and say, no, it's not true, it's just a stereotype, our people, our women going to always be looking like this. This is going to be normal. See? That's going to be normal. Oh, it's just an expression. See? But children see it. See? What about the elderly people that want to get on YouTube and they stumble across this? They don't have respect for them. Even the thumbnail. Look at the thumbnail is inappropriate. Man. Make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, please. Let's get this word out. So now, let's go into, I'm gonna go into this article right here because I already showed y'all how Beyonce dropped a Black is King, right? Got nothing, no views, got 17 million views. 6 days, and within 6 days, WAP has gotten a whopping 70-something million views. Once again, Beyonce saying we're kings, we have a rich heritage, a culture. WAP is saying that women are hoes and thoughts. Let's go. So why is this important? Why do I say it's important? If you want to be a whore and thought and behind closed doors, do it. That's on you. But when you put it out in mainstream, it has a certain effect on our people, right? Let's see. Rhythmic music, this is from Stanford News. Feeling the Beat Symposium explores the therapeutic effects on the rhythmic music. All right, so now let's read this. It says rhythmic music may change brain function and treat a range of neurological conditions, including attention deficit disorder and depression. Suggested scientists who gathered the ethnomusicologists and musicians at Stanford's Center for Computer Research in Music and Acoustics, May 13th. So they're saying music has certain areas where it is good for you. Right? So yeah, it's certain areas music is good for you. But then it can also be used in a negative sense to do what? To promote an agenda. To be used to degrade a certain people. right? So let's start it from again. Rhythmic music may change brain function and treat a range of neurological conditions, including attention deficit disorder and depression. Suggested scientists who gathered with ethnomusicologists and musicians at Stanford Center for Computer Research in Music and Acoustics. Right, May 13th. It says the diverse group came together for the one-day symposium, Brain Entrapment to Internal Rhythmic Stimuli, Interdisciplinary Research and Clinical Perspectives, to share ideas that push the boundaries of our understanding of the human musical experience. Listen what they say. Musicians and mystics have long recognized the power of rhythmic music. Rhythmic drumming and rhythmic prayer are found in cultures throughout the world and are used in religious ceremonies to induce trance states. So we understand that, especially like Black and Hispanic people, we understand that we have a rhythm when it comes with music. We identify in a certain way when it comes to music. We people always say that Black people are the most rhythm. That's why the Bible says we are the salt of the earth, Black and Hispanic people. That when we hear certain tones in music, like the Most High God, it puts us in a certain what can I call it? I don't want to say trance, but it puts us in a certain mood, right? Which it can be a good thing. Music, it can be is a good thing to healing, because we see it happen to Saul. Saul was dealing with some probably anxiety or depression, and David would come and pray for him. I mean, play his harp, and it would calm the spirits down. So we know music, it can be good, can be used for a good thing. But watch this. It says here, but since the counterculture movement of 1960, scientists have shielded away from investigating the almost mystical implication of music rhythm, said symposium organizer Gabe Toro, a visiting scholar of the Department of Music. It says recent interest in sleep meditation hypnosis research has spurred scientists to take a closer look at music. A small but growing group of body of scientific evidence suggests that music and other rhythmic stimuli can alter mental states in predictable ways and even heal damaged brains. So it says music, rhythmic stimuli can alter mental states. Keep that in mind, right? So now, if we understand music can alter mental states, when you see this, what do you think will happen to young children whose minds are not fully developed? They said women's minds don't fully develop until they're around 25 to 35. So now you think about it. Even people, see, we are even in danger of being trapped into this. Younger people. See? So now, if you are in that age, especially if you're 16, say you're 12, say you're 8, 9 years old, and you see this, now what is that going to do to your mind, your development, your brain? What is it going to do for the development of your brain? See? When we're saying here that what it says here, this is Stanford. It says that what? That recent bodies, scientific evidence suggests that music and other rhythmic stimuli can alter mental states in predictable ways. So they understand that if you bring out WAP, wet AP, to young children, they know what the outcome is going to be for that young child. She going to grow up and be just like that. And guess what? Against the man, being independent, thinking she can be sexually deviant, and walk the streets with no clothes on and say it's freedom. See, this is what it's designed for. To say she's expressing herself by being naked. This is what's happening. Now, watch this. Hold on. Now, okay, so now the same brothers and sisters, women, I'm sure women look at this things too. Women look at this too. I'm sure men look at it. But now I'm gonna ask both women and men. Would you be happy if your daughter grew up and was doing that? Because we like it. It's like, say, if a man in the world They like it because they like women. We think carnally. But imagine if that was your daughter, would you still look at it? If that was your daughter on the screen doing that, would you still look at it? Well, of course not, brother. Well, we should have their mindset because these are our sisters. They have mothers. These are our sisters. These are they black. They Israelites. So we should have that same mindset. We should not want to see our women out here like that. So just like if I was a parent and I saw my daughter, if I saw my daughter on here, hell no, man, we finna get it in. I'm clicking off. I'm calling the people, take that video down. My daughter's. Why we don't have that same type of attitude when we see this? That's what's wrong with black people. If it's not my family and what's immediately around me, I don't care. We should care. These are our sisters. Because if we don't care for them, who's going to care for them? The Jewish man? He put them out there like that. No other nation is going to care for our people but us. So we have to see them as our sisters, as our elderly seniors have to look at them as their children and say, no, get them off the screen like that. See? But that's the problem with black people. We don't think like that. If the Jewish people had somebody up there that's Jewish like that, they'll be protesting to get the video removed. But what do? We give it 84 million views. We support it and say it's a feminist thing. It's nothing wrong with women supporting them and expressing themselves. See? That's how we do it. That's how we justify doing this. Then we also blame men. Well, men do it all the time. Well, it don't make it right that men do it. We are against that too. Now let's get into it. Let's get into it. Now I want to show you one more article. I want to show you that we showed you what music does to your mental state. So when young children are hearing how they speak in that video, the lyrics to this is getting implemented in the mind of young children. So we wonder why our young children are growing up and they are sexually active at 8 years old. That they know more about sex than their parents do at 8. Because YouTube lets them look at stuff like this. While you thinking they watching kiddie stuff or Dora the Explorer or whatever, they watching WAP. They learning how to be sexual. See? Now, let's go in here. Let's keep going. Now, I want to go into this article right here, too. I have another article. I want to show you this. So not only is it in music, it's within TV. That's why they make music videos. Imagery is lyrics are good, too, but visuals also. It's like the icing on the cake. Right? It puts everything in perspective. Now I can see it, right? So this video, like I told you, the video is dealing with men and what they'll do to men, but they all over each other like lesbians in the video, which has nothing to do with the lyrics. Why? Because image is everything, and they trying to promote a certain agenda. Look at your screen. This is a declassified document dealing with the motion picture as a weapon of psychological warfare. So they understood, the government understand that motion picture can be used, movies, videos, can be used as a tool of psychological warfare, meaning war on the mind. If you destroy a person in the mind, you don't have to worry about a weapon. If you could destroy a person from internally, you don't have to worry about being harmed physically. And this is what the powers that be have learned. They have learned black men, Hispanic men are powerful, very powerful men on the outside. But they say, well, if we can get to them psychologically, if we can get to the mind and put our imprint on the mind, then we can control the outward man. We can control the external man. A weak mind is a weak body. But guess what? If you have a strong mind, you can have a weak body and still show how powerful you are. But you can have a powerful body and a weak mind. You're just a weak Negro. You're a big, weak Negro. That's what you are. And they understand this. Listen, that's why in the scripture it says, for we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness in high places. This is not a physical fight, but with bodies. If they came out with us and fight one-on-one with us with bodies, they know that black and Hispanic men, we are made better than they are. That's why sports, look at sports. This is nothing this ain't no debate. But they said, since we can't beat them that way, let's beat them psychologically. Let's go into the mind. Let's get their minds. This is what they have done, brothers and sisters. They have gotten our minds. What do? This stuff happened with George Floyd, right? They hurried up and tried to bring basketball back. Now, basketball is back. I don't see nobody marching. What happened? See nobody talking about COVID? What happened? The motion picture as a weapon of psychological warfare has happened. The motion picture is back. Let's see what the objective is of the weapon of psychological warfare. It says to exploit the potentialities of the motion picture as a weapon of psychological warfare for the United States. Survey of the situation, right? This says here, number 1, the motion picture is one of the most powerful propaganda weapons at the disposal of the United States. Let me show you propaganda weapon. There you go. See? This is what they're doing. Let's go back. Let me read that again. The motion picture is one of the most powerful propaganda weapons at the disposal of the United States. It can serve many diversified functions. So not only can it tell lies with the news and media, not only can it be used to pacify black people by sports, it can also be used to alter the mindset of our youth by showing WAP. See? That's why it says it can be used for many diversified functions. From sports to this. From preaching to entertainment. For more lies by the media. See? It can be used many different ways to promote propaganda. Like Trump always say, fake news. Listen, hey. Motion pictures are unparalleled instructional medium. They can present new facts concerning important problems on which people are ignorant and on which they ought to be informed. Meaning, news can be used for good things. Yeah, you can say, oh, I didn't know that. But it also can be, because a lot of us are ignorant to a lot of things, so they use that to program us. They use the news and media and outlets to control us. Because they know we're ignorant of certain things. So they use it for their advantage. Right? So now, it says, they can clarify complicated problems on which people are confused. Motion pictures are a potent force in attitude formation. Look at that. What did it say? What did it say? Motion pictures are a potent force in attitude formation. What does that mean? And attitudes are the basis of action and morals. Let me highlight that. So, motion pictures are a potent force in attitude formation. What you see visually can program and form your mind, even if you were brought up a different way. If you watch it enough, it'll program your mind to say, oh, what they doing is okay. I see no problem with it. It'll reprogram your mind to think like a savage, to be a savage, to throw away all your morals. To be a hoe in a thought. It'll make it okay because you see it enough, you thinking being a hoe in the thought is just cultural. It's okay. That's what motion pictures are there for, along with the music. Motion pictures are a potent force in attitude formation, and attitudes are the basis of action and morals. or morale, excuse me. Listen to this. That's a very important. B is very important because that's what you're seeing it being used for. C, motion pictures can stimulate or inhibit action. Like the riots. They show riots. See, they'll show riots and say black people out there destroying property when all along it's been white people. It's been white supremacists. But they can show it a certain way because they own the media and make it seem like it's black people out there destroying stuff. And what does that do? It stimulate or inhibit action. We got to go against the black people. Look at them. They're out there. They're not just rioting for freedom. They're rioting and looting. See? It stimulates people's thoughts against that group, even though that group might have a righteous cause of being out there. But when they show certain things a certain way, it stimulates certain thoughts in people. So now it's not only about marching. It's not all about it's not about forming and marching against oppression and evil. Now let's see, they just out there marching because they like to steal and loot. All because what? Motion pictures shows a certain thing that they want you to see. Let's go. It says motion pictures can contribute to the building and maintenance of morale by, one, dispelling doubt and uncertainty and allaying anxiety, providing a unique and valuable form of recreation. See that? Providing a unique and valuable form of recreation, like basketball and football and all those things. Motion pictures can orient the individual to affairs beyond his personal experience by providing opportunities for vicarious precipitation. Newsreels, for example, are the best medium for giving remote civilians the feel of frontline combat. Let me show you that. Look at that. This is what it's designed. So newsreels are designed for you to feel like you're there. You know, today's news, it was this, and that happened. See? Listen, look at this. Let's go. There are many types of motion pictures through which these functions may be exercised. Features, commercials, educationals, documentaries, travel logs, newsreels, and cartoons. Features, travel logs, documentary, commercials, also music videos, but that goes into motion pictures. Numerous and diverse organizations and agencies are concerned with motion pictures, private and public agencies, productions, distributions, and intelligence agencies, commercial theaters, and various non-commercial cultural institutions, domestic and foreign. So you see how important this is to persuade or to program your mind for a certain thing. For example, if you see a commercial about soda, Coca-Cola, for so long, you start wanting Coca-Cola. They know that. They know it's rebel. The more you see it, the more you're going to want it. The more you see it, the more you're going to want it. But guess what happens, brothers and sisters? The more you see this, the more you'll want it. The more you see it, the more, especially if you're not grounded in this body and in the Most High God, the more you're going to want it. So imagine if you're not grounded in that and you're an 8-year-old kid and you see this, what do you think you're going to do? What is your mindset moving forward? It's all about WAP. Wet AP. That's what it's about. And our young people live in a time now where this time that we're living in now is so far away from, even when I was coming up, it was certain, you had a certain type of respect for women. Like you had, I mean, women back then, y'all don't probably remember, and brothers know about, if you old enough, you know about blouses. When women used to wear blouse. See, and just that is done away with now. I'm not saying women should be walking around wearing blouses, but I'm just saying women were so, they didn't want their bodies to be shown, so they wore full coverings under a covering. But now it's just women, these sisters want to get as much as they can get away with, they want to get away with it. See? Man, so let's just keep moving. So I wanted to show you, brothers and sisters, that now, brothers and sisters, we have to get into it. Let me make sure I was done on that. We have to get into it. But I suggest y'all go and look that up. That y'all can find that this article that I was reading from. Go and read the whole thing. It's called the OSS Motion Pictures as Weapons. So you can go look that up. Okay. Now, brothers and sisters, we have to look at the lyrics, right? I can't play the video. I won't play the video. I mean, this. I mean, I don't even. Let me see. I want to listen, y'all. We are all grown people, right? We all grown. So, listen. If you sensitive, if you over righteous, then I say turn away from the screen now, because I'm about to put the lyrics on the screen. All right. But we must look at this song. Now, the image in itself is wicked. See, the woman with the tongue is out, that goes back to Hindu. That's a Hindu, I think it's a Hindu goddess. Or one of the Indian gods. Back in the day, I remember when I used to hear, they used to say it was disrespectful for a woman to slick her tongue out. Now, women have made that a forefront of their freedom, is licking their tongues out. You know, that's a sign of sexual immorality, or to them, sexual freedom. See? Because with the tongue, what? The Bible go into what the tongue is for. But what they're trying to do is promote and tell you now that this is their sign of freedom. Now let's go to the lyrics. Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There are some whores in this house. Hold up. A certified freak 7 days a week. Wet AP make that pull-out game weak. Now, for y'all that don't understand what it means, what a whore is, let's see. Everybody know what whores is. Everybody been in the world at one point. So let's see what a whore is. Cause, like I said, I don't know what happened to our women. I remember back in the day, if you called a woman a whore, that was fighting words. Now women calling themselves whores. What happened to our people? What happened to our women? Can we have our women back, please? Let's see. What is a whore? A whore, derogatory, a prostitute. A verb, or a woman works as a prostitute. See. Offensive, promiscuous, or immoral woman. Somewhat old-fashioned, a person who engaged in sexual intercourse for pay. A male who engaged in sexual acts for money. To have unlawful sexual intercourse as or with a prostitute. To pursue a faithless, unworthy, or idolatrous desire. So we just wanted to make sure we understood what a whore was, or back in the day how we say a hoe. Same thing. But we understand what that is. So now let's go back. Let's go back. There are some whores in this house. Excuse me. Let's go back. Now, let's read it again. Whores in this house. There are some whores in this house. There are some whores in this house. There are some whores in this house. Hold up. A certified freak, 7 days a week. Wet AP make that pullout game weak. Course, yay, yay, yeah, or yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you effing with some. Y'all can see. Let's go to the verse. Verse 1, Cardi B and Megan the Stallion. Beat it up, nigga. Catch a charge. Extra large, extra hard. Put this P right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top, I wanna ride. I do a Kegel while it's inside. Spit in my mouth like it's my eyes. Or look in my eyes. I mean, now if you send that to your husband, y'all sending texts, y'all going back and forth, and that's between you and him, nothing wrong. If that's how y'all talk and get it in, it's a problem when it's in public and children can get a hold of this. And we shouldn't use our people to promote this type of wickedness. Women calling themselves whores. Oh, Lord. Let's go back. This pee is wet. Come take a dive. Tie me up like I'm surprised. Let's role play. I'll wear a disguise. I want you to park that Big Mac truck right in this little garage. Make it cream, make it scream. Out in public, make a scene. Listen what she says here. I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you how I got this ring. So pretty much, she can bring nothing else to the marriage but sex. Maybe some of you brothers are good with that, but if you're trying to build a nation, it's a little bit more than sex. See, some of y'all want women like that. Y'all want attractive dummies. She open her mouth, she sound like brother, that's your girl. See, that's how some of you brothers want. That's not a good thing. I don't cook, I don't clean. But let me tell you how I'm good. Look, you stay over there. You can get with some beta male that's with that, and y'all work that thing out. See? All right, look, listen. Let's sit on that. Let's sit on that. But you see how this influences our children. They're not thinking about that. No one's thinking about that. Now, let me show you something. Let me see if I can do this real quick. I want to show you something real quick, brothers and sisters. Make sure y'all share the video. Please like and share, support the work. All right. Shout out to the brothers and sisters in the chat. Brother Karam, E-Dog, what's up, brother? So now, let's go into this real quick. I want to show y'all something real quick. Let's see. Now, I want to try to log off, right? I'm going to try to log off. Hopefully it doesn't do anything to the stream. And I want to show you, brothers and sisters, something here. Now, I'm going to go to the screen, my screen here. Now, all I did was I logged out. If you can see in the top right corner, I logged out of YouTube, right? And what I want to see is if I'm able to play this video without being logged into YouTube. Because when you log into YouTube, they ask for your age or your YouTube account or channel. they have your age and date of birth, so they know, well, if you're clicking on this, you're probably the person and you're old enough to watch this type of content. Now, say that I'm a child, right? I'm able to use my mom's computer, and I go to YouTube, and when you go into YouTube, this video is going to be popped up there as trending. And say, okay, I click on it, right? So, boom, I click on it. Now, I'm not logged in, right? I'm not logged in. I'm just like a casual browsing the internet, and I want to look at this video. There you go. It's playing, and didn't ask me how old I was. It didn't ask me, nothing. Didn't ask me to put a date of birth, nothing. We're not going to watch it. It didn't ask me anything. It just started playing. Is that not a problem? You got a 6-year-old kid that surfs YouTube all the time. He type in youtube.com. He see 2 women on the front like this. And he's a young man. He see women, wait a minute, what is this? Right? He on YouTube, he see that. He see women like that. Naturally, he gonna click on it. Instead of YouTube saying, how old are you, or log into YouTube to see this content, they just let you look at it. With nothing. With no barriers. Brothers, sisters, it's a bigger agenda. It's bigger than what you think. It's not about protecting your children. It's all about programming your children to be like this. To promote this freedom and sexual freedom. This is what it's about, brothers and sisters. They don't care about your children. They don't. See? Yeah, it says, look how the videos start. Exactly. See? So now, if it's no barriers, think about it. If you go, you can put them, and think about it. Try to look up twerking. You got to log in and all those things. And watch. In a video that I did years ago, we showed that. How when they put in different things, when they want to promote different things, they make it to where it's accessible for certain people, but then certain things it's not. See, this is the bigger message that they want to get out to the people, so they make it open to anybody. Now, let's go back. Let's look at it. We're not going to play the music for copyright purposes, but free use. We can use this for editing, for commentary and teaching. So if YouTube try to knock us off, we put that in there. But now, let's just look at it. Now, this is your kid sitting around in the front of the living room watching this, right? Imagine this. You working somewhere, and they in a room on their iPads. This is what they looking at. That's what they looking at. They in on TV. They in there. You think they looking at YouTube Kids or YouTube whatever. This is what they looking at on YouTube. Some of y'all brothers like, man, why you stop it? But this is what they looking at, brothers and sisters, on YouTube. Because you don't need no type of barriers. You don't need anything. You can just go into it. Now, watch this. Listen, brothers and sisters, y'all have to look. Everything has symbolic meaning. What does the snakes mean here? What does that have? See, brothers and sisters, how did the man fall? A snake went to the woman and told the woman to eat off the tree and caused the man to fall. Brothers and sisters, they showing you how men fall. They showing you the very beginning. Everything is symbolic. The snakes with the woman. And in the music video, they talking about men. And talking about doing crazy stuff to men. Y'all don't see the connection? Genesis says that the snake went to the woman. Satan went to the snake and said, go to the woman. Tell her to do this. See, tell her to do this, and then she'll do it and give it to the man. See, this is what they doing. And she's saying all this and causing brothers to fall. See? Let's keep going. Look at this. Now, this supposed to be them talking about what they gonna do to men and all that and what they gonna do to men. Why are they trying to lick and kiss on each other? Why are they doing this? This ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Brothers, sisters, what are they promoting? What are they promoting, brothers and sisters? What does this have to do with the context of the song? They ain't talking about licking on women. They talking about doing things to men. What is this? See? Hold on. I don't get why they own each other. I don't. I'm trying to figure this thing out. Yeah, that's it on that. That's all we gonna do. But just show you how much access or easy access your children have to this type of content. It should be scary, right? This should scare you if you're a parent, and I am a parent, that my son can just go and pick up his iPad, but we make sure we do all type of measures on his stuff. But still, we can't. We're not foolproof. We're not 100% because I mean they have different ways that they do. These are the same people that put out the parental guidelines. So they'll put out a parental guideline, but then show the kid how to maneuver around it. So we only can do as much as we can to protect them. But when they do stuff like, how do you protect this? This just simply on YouTube. Oh man, what we looking like? So now I want to read a couple of the so-called stereotypes that we brought out a couple years ago, right? Or maybe last year I brought out this in a video, right? So let me close some of this out, right? So to recap what we have been done. So we have shown what? We've shown you what the importance of media or music has on your mental, or how it can alter your mental state. Also, how visuals or motion pictures are also used as the icing on the cake to put everything together, right? So when you hear and start seeing things for so long, it becomes normal to you that you don't see an issue, and that's the problem that we're having, right? That we're starting to see things and it's normal to see them that way, right? And that's what we need to fight against. It's not normal seeing our sisters out like that on in public. If you want to be like that in the confines of your house, in your bedroom with your husband and your wife, that's between you. That God, the Most High, don't have nothing against that. But when you have it out here like that, brothers and sisters, degrading our people, making us fit that the stereotypes that's been placed on us. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're making us fit the stereotypes that have been placed on black people. What are the stereotypes? Let's go. Let's read. Let me speed this up a little bit. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all share the video. Please share the video. Subscribe to the channels, right? Let's look at this, though. This is from Ferris State University, Jim Crow Museum of Racist Memorabilia, right? The Jezebel stereotype. Let's read this. The betrayal of the black woman as lascivious by nature is an enduring stereotype. The descriptive words associated with this stereotype are singular in their focus. She's seductive, alluring, worldly, beguiling, tempting, and lewd. Wait. I'm gonna keep that screen up so while I'm reading it, y'all can see. So I'm gonna keep the screen up so y'all can see it, and then you tell me if it's a stereotype or not. Right? Now, let me go back over here where we at. Let me see. Let me put this over here. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me move this over. So I want y'all to continue to see this. Okay, it might not let me do it that way. Hold on. So hold on, brother and sister. Let me pull this back up. Okay. All right. Hopefully y'all can still see that on the screen. Yeah, y'all can still see that. Okay, so now it says the portrayal of black women as lascivious by nature is an enduring stereotype. The descriptive words associated with this stereotype are singular in their focus: seductive, alluring, worldly, beguiling, tempting, and lewd. Historically, white women as a category. Now, this is what we're talking about here. This is why I said earlier, not all black women are like that, but as a culture, we are known as being Jezebels. We are known to portray ourselves as, like you see on the screen, as being black people, so-called African Americans. So that's why it says historically, white women as a category, they don't portray themselves this way. Only black people, only black women, only brothers, only black men. This is how we portray our sisters, as objects. Now, if they want to be against, or say someone is misogynist, it should be against the brothers who portray them that way, that say that they only use for sex objects, that they only be. We don't see our women that way. Our women have way much more to offer than they behinds. So the brothers that need to be having the most pushback is these brothers in these rap videos making our women twerk and all that. See? It says white women as a category were portrayed as models of self-respect, self-control, and modesty. Now, white women have not always been. That was once black women, Hispanic women. But what do we do? We wanted that freedom. So at one point, yeah, black women were of self-respect, self-control, and modesty, even sexual purity. But black women were often portrayed as innately promiscuous, even predatory. This depiction of the black woman is signified by the name Jezebel. See? So during slavery, black women were called Jezebels. Let's read this highlighted report here. It says, from the early 1630s to the present, black American women of all shades have been portrayed as hypersexual, and I quote, bad black girls. Look at your screen. Is it a stereotype if we are actually living that way? It's no longer a stereotype because we look at the screen. This is not the only occasion. You could look. This is not the only thing. We've been a black. Look at our history in entertainment. We've always portrayed ourselves this way. See? Now, and I'm not saying all black women. You have like sisters like Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston can blow up a song and still just stand there, not move, fully clothed, everything. That's talent. When you see women act like this, they have no talent. They have nothing else to offer you. And you brothers that like that, you have no talent because that's the only thing you can see in a woman. You're not trying to build, and the only thing you building is your penis. See, it shows. Now, the belief that blacks are sexually lewd predates the institution of slavery in America. So before we even came in slavery, they had already said this about black people. Now look at the image on to the right. They had already betraying us like you see on the screen. Let me show you the image I'm looking at here. Let me pull this off so y'all can see it. Look at the image right here on the right. See, this is an image that they have made saying how black women are. See, her hands up, naked, she dancing. Right? It says, European travelers to Africa found scantily clad natives. The semi-nudity was misinterpreted as lewdness. Now, some of that was our culture, right? White Europeans locked into this racial ethnocentrism of the 17th century saw African polygyny and tribal dances as proof of the Africans' uncontrolled sexual lust, Europeans were fascinated by African sexuality. William Bozeman described the black woman on the coast of Guinea as fiery and warm and, quote, so much hotter than the men. William Smith described African women as hot, or quote, hot, constitutioned ladies who, quote, are continually contriving stratagems how to gain a lover. See that? They always trying to have strategies how to gain a lover. Now, we could fight against this stuff if it wasn't true. We can say, well, no, they just being racist. But are they? Because at that time, yeah, they was being racist against African people because they didn't understand the culture. But the same statements that they're making now can be applied to our sisters and women now. They fall right under what these men are saying. See? It says here, the genesis, or let's see, the genesis of anti-black sexual archetypes emerged from the writings of these and other Europeans. The black male as a beaut and potential rapist, the black woman as the Jezebel whore. Now, we could have fight against that if we say, no, look how modest and look how well put together and respectful our women are. No, that's not true. We can't say that as a culture. We can't say, no, our women are not whores and thoughts, because as soon as they look at TV, they're going to see women whores and thoughts. Soon as we fight and say, no, our sisters have morals and values, they'll turn on and see, and then Beyonce is guilty of that in the past too. Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and all of them, that's what represents black women. So it should be on black women to change that image. Like it's on black men, but at the same time, we have to do it as a culture, as a people. See? So this is what they saw the Jezebel whore as. Now, like I said, if it wasn't true, we can be able to fight against it. But what do you see when you see black women? Because white people white people don't do this. They don't go and say, well, let me go to a black community and talk to the elders and see what they believe in. They don't do that. They judge black people according to what they see on TV. Remember we said motion pictures, how it works on the mental state? So this is what they have to judge black people. Right? Listen to this. As the English colonists accepted Elizabethan image of the lusty Moor and used this and similar stereotypes to justify enslaving blacks. In part, this was accomplished by arguing that blacks were subhumans, intellectually inferior, culturally stunted, morally undeveloped, and animal-like sexually. Whites used racist and sexist ideologies to argue that they alone were civilized and rational, whereas blacks and other people of color were barbaric and deserved to be subjugated. So this is what they saw. So, brothers and sisters, when the Jewish people see our sisters dancing like this, this is the mindset that they have, that they are morally undeveloped. You got to be if you act. Listen to how they was acted on. Listen, if you walking around looking like this, you are morally undeveloped. You're morally undeveloped if you in public doing this. So the Jewish man and like the early Europeans thought, if you act this way, this is what they see you as. So that's why the Jewish men don't respect us. They know we can make them money, but they don't care about you dressing like a whore in the thought, because they don't look at you as morally, they don't look at you as developed mentally or mentally developed. See that? So we have to take blame for some of this stuff, because what it says, intellectually inferior, culturally stunted, morally undeveloped, and animal-like sexually. Whites use racist and sexist ideologies to argue that they alone were civilized and rational, whereas blacks and other people of color were barbaric and deserved to be subjugated. See? So when it says they deserve to be subjugated, so if a Jewish man see us dancing in the street like whores, his conscience not going to tell him, no, don't do it. Well, if she doing it anyway, I'm just going to make money off of it. That's how they think. Because they think like the Europeans, the early Europeans. Well, she's dancing like a whore anyway. She might as well get paid for it. right? So we understand that. We're not gonna go deep into that. Brothers and sisters, y'all take your own time and go and look at this. You can look at the source up here, the link, or just type in the Jezebel stereotype, and it will go right. It will go right into it. All right. So now let's go into the other one. Now let's go into this one. The Sapphire caricature. It says this: the Sapphire caricature portrays black women as rude, loud, malicious, stubborn, and overbearing. It's not right, but I'm gonna make a point. When you ask brothers, and it's issues on both sides. But I'm gonna say this: you ask a brother, why don't you date a sister? Every brother that I've asked that say the same thing, because she's rude, she's loud, and she's angry all the time. I mean, and that's in the world, and that's brothers I've met just in my travels, and it's also brothers in the truth. I've heard this tell me that. This is the angry black woman, the ABW, popularized in cinema and on television. See that? Remember we said that? How television, motion pictures influence your mental state? She is torque-tongued and emasculating, meaning she just dominate the man. She make him feel like he's less than nothing. She tell him how he ain't SHIT. See? Who do that? What group of people? Who say niggas ain't SHIT? On one hand on a hip and the other pointing and jabbing, meaning, you know what that means, pointing and jabbing. Let me show you what it means. One hand on the hip. Nigga, you ain't. Get the up, nigga, you ain't. That's what they talking about. See? Let's keep going. Jabbing violently and rhythmically, rocking her head. See that? Rocking the head. Let me add that. Nigga, you ain't nothing. Nigga, you ain't done. Nigga, I can do better than you. I'm independent. See, this is the Sapphire caricature. This is what white people have made up and said this is how black women act. Now, if think about it, did they make it up? Yes, part of it was racism. But how is it that us being so far removed from this time, we now jump right into these caricatures? It's amazing to me that they made these caricatures up of black women at a time that black women didn't really act like that. But then so many years removed from that, we jump right into that caricature. That's crazy. We jump right into what they said we were. Rhythmically rocking her head, mocking African American men for offenses ranging from being unemployed to sexually pursuing white women. She is a shrill nagger in irrational states of anger and indignation, and is often mean-spirited and abusive. Although African American men are her primary target, she has venom for anyone who insults and disrespects her. See, her primary target is black men. Brothers and sisters, this stuff we can't make up. Even though they say it's a caricature, we have to kind of be like, well, wait a minute, it's something to this. See, this was designed and put upon our women. That's why they act the way they do. This wasn't a wild guess, brothers and sisters. It's not a coincidence. This was trained and put upon our women, black and Hispanic women. You got black and Hispanic women both saying niggas ain't nothing. It says the Sapphire's desire to dominate and her hypersensitivity to injustice makes her a perpetual complainer. But she does not criticize to improve things. Rather, she criticizes because she is unendingly bitter and wishes that unhappiness on others. See? So this is the character that they said this is the Sapphire character. The Sapphire caricature is a harsh portrayal of African American women, but it is more than that. It is a social control mechanism that is employed to punish black women who violate the social norms that encourage them to be passive, servile, non-threatening, and unseen. Right. Right. So I wanted to show you that. Once again, if you want to read it, you can read it through your whole self. It goes into our history. Esther, on what's the name? Saffron and Son. Everybody know that. Coffee, right? Mammies and all those things. You can go and read it on your own, right? So we're gonna keep it moving. We're already 2 hours into this thing. So now, brothers and sisters, I have to move on. I want to get into this other thing. Be mindful of, what we're dealing with here, and understand that in no way am I speaking against black women. Like I said, I was raised by nothing but black women, right? But we have to be honest that as a people, we are not presenting ourselves in a respectable manner to where anybody will respect us. We have to say, we asking people to respect us, but we're not presenting ourselves in a respectful manner. We all have heard the saying, it take respect to get respect. So that doesn't apply to us, right? So the more we portray ourselves and present ourselves in this fashion, that's how people are going to always see us. And God has not set us up to do this. He has not set us up to be this way. You see that? So we have to understand that. So I wanted to go into more things on that, but that's all I'm going to go into with that, right, brothers and sisters? But I'm going to jump into our second point real quick. I'm going to knock this out. Because we put this in the topic too, also dealing with Kamala Harris, she's the running mate with Joe Biden, right? And I wanted to put out, because what we see is with black people, anytime somebody has a hue of color, we say they black, right? We say we need to vote for them without even vetting the person or researching the people or making sure they're right for black people. What have they done for black people as a whole prior to us seeing them on the main scale? So black people, we have to fix we have to fix that. We can't just trust people because they black, right? If a white man is going to benefit you, go with that. But we just vote for people because they're black. Oh, and Dr. Martin Luther King said best, we should not look at people for the color of their skin, but the character of the content of the heart. I'm paraphrasing, of course. That he wished people wouldn't see people for their skin color, but what's in their heart. What do they represent? Now, black people, and it's funny because on both sides, it's kind of, you have black people that's against her, that's not for her, and you have black people that's gonna vote for her because she black. Right? But let me go into this. I want to show you that just real quick, right? So we can close this out. Now, listen, I had to go into this first because this was very funny. Right? So I'm getting ready, get my information. What is going on here? Hold on. I'm getting my information together to do this live stream, right? And I see this on YouTube. I see this on Yahoo, right? So when it was announced that, what's this lady's name? Kamala Harris was going to be Joe Biden's running mate. A Virginia mayor says this, and I quote: "Virginia mayor urged to resign after saying Biden picked Aunt Jemima as his VP." White people are just, they let loose right now. Donald Trump is in office. They like, man, we can say whatever we want to say. These are things that they say secretly behind closed doors, right? But now it's like they know Trump is in office. They brave. Look, I'm finna just put it out there. He picked Aunt Jemima. Everybody know what Aunt Jemima is, the pancakes. Now, why is this bad for him to say something like that? Of course, he got to resign. It says, of course, and they apologize, and they didn't know how sensitive it was. How do you not know? Why would you say something like that and say you didn't know it was that? Why choose Aunt Jemima? Come on now. Now let's go into this. Let me go into this. Now let's see if y'all for those who don't know who Aunt Jemima is, right? Some good pancakes y'all used to eat Saturday morning. Right, when you used to watch cartoons and your grandma would be in there cooking them pancakes. Y'all know. Now watch this. And I'm not trying to be funny, but listen, so when he called her Aunt Jemima, let me show you what he understood this. Let me show you what he meant. Aunt Jemima was always a mammy caricature, meaning she was a mammy. Remember we read those things earlier. It says mammy is the most well-known and enduring racial caricature of African-American women. The Jim Crow Museum at Ferris State University has more than 100 items with the mammy image, including ashtrays, souvenirs, postcards, fishing lures, detergents, artistic prints, toys, candles, and kitchenware. The article examines real mammies, fictional mammies, and commercial mammies. Right? Now, this is what the mammies are. So when he called her Aunt Jemima, that's what he's saying. That basically she gonna be in the White House running stuff. Oh Lord, that you can't make this stuff up. They know what they saying. It's just black people don't, because we don't research. It says Mammy was born on a plantation in the imagination of slavery defenders, but she grew into popularity during the period of Jim Crow. The mainstreaming of Mammy was primarily, but not exclusively, the result of the fledgling advertising industry. The Mammy image was used to sell almost any household item, especially breakfast foods, detergents, planters, ashtrays, sewing accessories, and beverages. As early as 1875, Aunt Sally, a Mammy image, appeared on cans of baking powder. Later, different Mammy images appeared in lasagna, coffee, and cleaners, fun-to-wash detergent, Aunt Dina molasses, and other products. Mammy represented wholesomeness. You can trust the Mammy pitchwoman. See? Now, let me read this last one because I'm going to show you something else. Let me show you how they thought about black people. It says, Mammy's most successful commercial expression was and is Aunt Jemima. In 1889, Charles Rudd, a Missouri newspaper editor, and Charles G. Underwood, a mill owner, developed the idea of self-rising flour that only needed water. He called it Aunt Jemima's recipe. Rudd borrowed the Aunt Jemima name from a popular vaudeville song that he heard performed by a team of minstrel performers. Minstrel performers were where they would get together and have minstrel shows, and they would make fun of like blackface, the bully coons, right? The zip coon and all that. They would make fun of black people. They put on masks and they would act like black people. Well, what they thought black people act like, right? It says the minstrels include a skit with a southern mammy. Rudd decided to use this name and the image of the mammy-like Aunt Jemima to promote his new pancake mix. So we have to understand this stuff came in under racism, under the minstrel shows. So for it to be here so long like this and people not say nothing shows you the mindset of America. Unfortunately for him and his partner lacked the necessary capital to effectively promote and market the product. They sold the pancake recipe and the accompanying Aunt Jemima market idea to R.D. Davis Mill Company, all right? So it goes into that. We're not going to read the whole thing, all right? So now I want to show you this. Let's keep going. All right, so now this is what he called Kamala Harris and Aunt Jemima. Now, listen. I just want to show y'all some things, how they would make fun of how slaves would talk, during slavery or outside. This is actually outside of slavery when this pancake mix was here. So they was knowingly making fun of black people. So let's look at the screen. Now, this is Aunt Jemima. This is probably on a box or advertisement, right? It says, "Happening Aunt Jemima pancakes show sets folks singing." See how they make fun of black people? And I'm not laughing at, because our people, that's not funny that we had to go through that. But this is the mindset of what white people have. So when that mayor came out and said he put Aunt Jemima as his running mate, this is what they think of. This is what they laugh at. Then look at the bottom part. It says, Oz in town, honey. See? This is what they do, brothers and sisters, to make mockery of our people. This is why he called her Aunt Jemima. Aunt Jemima. To make mockery of her. That's how he feel about black people, right? So now let's keep going. Now, like I said earlier, so black people know who you're gonna vote for, right? I'm not. Listen, the Bible goes into it. We don't do no voting here, right? If Christ was on the ballot, we'll vote for Christ, but he's not. So therefore, it says, you vote for one, you either love one or hate the other. So we're not voting. I don't love one of them or hate the other one. We have nothing to do with them. What are we going to pick? The lesser of two evils? Both of them evil, and God said have no dealings with evil. So I'm telling black people, if this message get out to a person that vote and you want to vote because she's black, maybe you should do research on her before you do it. First of all, she's not married to a black man. I mean, not that it don't matter to me who she married to. If she want to marry a white man, that's on her. But she's not married to a black man. She's married to a white man that is a Jew, a Jewish man, a Jewish white man. He wore the hats. So that's one thing. You got to look into it. Not only that, she was a district attorney a district attorney and the attorney general, I think in San Francisco. Now, let's see. Let's see something. So is Kamala Harris for us or against us? Let's see. And we're going to end it. A few more minutes. We're going to end this for tonight. But I want to show you something. Because black people, we do things because of they look like us and we must have to trust them. Let us go here. In 2003, this is dealing with Kamala Harris. In 2003, the San Francisco DA's office was occupied by Terrence Stallion, a Democrat widely considered the county's most progressive prosecutor at the time. Stallion was a strong proponent of rehabilitative justice, as opposed to incarceration. So he wanted to rehabilitate brothers. Since taking office, Stallion successfully reduced violent crime in San Francisco by nearly 60%. So this brother was doing some good work. Or I don't know who he is, brothers, white, I don't know. But whoever he was doing some good work. He didn't want to lock brothers up. Right? So now, let's keep reading. Stallion, and I might not be saying his name right, but Stallion has been a critical part of civil disobedience protests and served as counsel to such demonstrators, including striking workers, student sit-ins, and anti-war demonstrators. He considered drug addictions and sex work public health problems. Now listen, this guy considered drug addiction and sex work public health problems, which I agree. Because drug addiction is not, it's a crime to smoke weed, but if you're addicted to it, it's still a crime. You need help. Jail obviously is not helping you. If you go to jail for smoking weed and you come out and you still addicted to it, you're going to smoke it again, go back to jail. No, it needs to be something that needs to be implemented to where it will make you stop smoking. When you stop smoking, when you're not addicted to it, then you won't go to jail. It's common sense. So he considered drug addictions and sex work public health problems rather than criminal offenses. Well, that's a good thing. And fought for nonviolent offenders to receive social service rather than incarceration. Naturally, Stallion was widely disliked by the San Francisco Police Department. Why? Because they want to arrest everybody they see. He cracked down on corruption among the police and city hall officials, which did not sit well with them, nor did it sit well with the right-wing Kamala Harris. Wait a minute. She black. This is a black woman. We know, well, according to what mainstream media say, this is a black woman. So this guy, the former DA, was against locking people up for drug offenses. He didn't want nonviolent offenders in jail. He wanted to rehab them. He was all about rehabbing. He cut the crime violent crimes nearly 60%. But then you have the right wing Kamala Harris, who was against him. So if this guy was doing great work and she's against it, what agenda is she trying to do? She's trying to do the opposite. She's trying to lock brothers up. Let's see. Kamala Harris built a name for herself among the police by building a cop-friendly campaign against Stallion. Harris promised to repair the relationship between police and the DA's office, a relationship that had been strained by Stallion's refusal to turn a blind eye to law enforcement corruption. She was unanimously endorsed by the police union. See that? So this guy was holding the police accountable for crimes. She's saying she gonna repair the relationship. What does that mean, repair a relationship? She gonna let them get away with stuff. The police is not supposed to be endorsing, the police union is not supposed to be endorsing the candidate for district attorney's office. That's a conflict of interest. But if I can get gain from it, then I know if she goes in, we can get away with things. See? So you had one person that was in there that was holding the police accountable. Now you have one of them that was going to be their friend. It says here, Harris' campaign also secured wealthy donors, including San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown, whom Harris had a brief affair with in 1995. Check that out. Brown was also under investigation for corruption by Holliman, right? Harris received in total $600,000 in donations, violating campaign finance law in the process and incurring the largest fine for such an offense in the city's history. Her funding, high-profile supporters, and a media smear campaign against Holliman was enough for her to unseat him, stopping the corruption investigation. Holliman had lunch against the police department and city hall officials. So the guy was holding the police accountable. This who y'all want for y'all vice president? This who y'all voting for because she black? Look right here. Harris' career was based on incarcerating people of color from the very beginning. Quote, murder up 30%, skyrocketed rates of youth in jail. Another generation lost to gang violence was perhaps a promise of what was to come in her election. Check this out. Now let's look at her. Let's look at her stats, brothers and sisters. Is she for us or against us? It says Harris prided herself on her record of incarceration. On her own website, stated in 2008, this is on her website, it says, raised the overall felony conviction rate from 52% in 2003 to 67% in 2006, the highest in a decade. So mostly I was like, man, that's a good thing. She getting convictions. Are they all rightful convictions or are they all legit convictions? And what type of convictions are they? Are they weed convictions? Raised the felony conviction rate of trial from 62% in 2003 to 80% in 2006. Are they all right? Are they all lawful? Are they all justified convictions? Or are some of them wrongful convictions? Because what you're going to see is, I'm going to show you some stuff that all her stats are padded, but but they're not right. A lot of her stats, a lot of this stuff was overturned. Sent 40% more serious and violent offenders to state prison, strengthened the homicide unit, reduced the backlog of homicide cases, and handling homicide aggressively, charged 87% of all homicide cases brought by police, secured 85% conviction rate for homicides, increased convictions for drug dealers from 56% in 2003 to 74% in 2006. In 2008, the statistics indicated a tough on crime stance. In 2019, with police corruption and the prison industry complex in the limelight, they tell a much different story. Listen to what they say about her. Harris was a strong proponent of California's 3 strikes laws, which dictates mandatory life sentence for third-time offenders, even if the offense are minor. So if you got into fights a lot, and you got 3 assaults, they're going to give you life for you fighting. For minor offenses. Hollian, who she unseated, and Steve Cooley, her Republican opponent in the race for Attorney General, were both opponents of the law. Harris, of course, defeated both men and ensured 3 strikes law continued to this day. The law also disproportionately affects non-whites. 3 strikes laws, it don't affect white people. Guess who it affects? Let's see. California incarceration rates by race and ethnicity. Number of people incarcerated by 100,000 per in the racial ethnic group. This under her rule. See that? Black people are, look at that. Are Native brothers, then are Hispanic brothers. Look at disproportionately. Look how high that is. Look who she's arresting. But she wants the black vote. She wants the black vote. See? She wants the black vote. All right? This is the last video I'm gonna play on this. And we're gonna call it for today, all right? We're gonna call it for today. So check this out about Kamala Giuliani. Yeah, and I don't support him either, but I want y'all to hear this, okay? I want y'all to hear this. Check this out. Hold on, let me turn the volume. Let me get the volume working for you, brothers and sisters. All right, let me get this audio working for you, right? It should be that one. All right, so check this out.
Welcome back. Joe Biden taps California Senator and former presidential candidate Kamala Harris as his running mate, ending months of speculation. President Trump reacted yesterday.
I was a little surprised that he picked her. I've been watching her for a long time, and I was a little surprised. She was very disrespectful to Joe Biden, and it's hard to pick somebody that's that disrespectful. She's very big into raising taxes. She wants to slash funds for our military at a level that nobody can even believe. She is against fracking. She's against petroleum products. She wants to take your health care plans away from 180 million Americans.
Joining me right now is former New York City mayor, personal attorney to President Trump, Rudy Giuliani. Rudy, it's always a pleasure. Thanks so much for being here.
Always a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
So what do you think? What's your reaction to Kamala Harris getting the nod?
Well, I've spent most of the night going through her record as a prosecutor because, you know, that's my greatest love and probably the thing I know the best of. And I have to tell you, she's one of the worst prosecutors I've ever seen. Her record is virtually schizophrenic. You could take half of her record and say she was very, very tough, too tough. 1,500 people in jail for marijuana, small little amounts of marijuana. Cases, I mean, I spent 16 years as a prosecutor, did many more important cases than she did. I never prosecuted a use marijuana case. She had 1,500 of them in jail. She helped produce the population that Donald Trump had to save with the prison reform. Oh, and by the way, her boss is the one who authored it. So this is really strange, Maria. He authors a bill that provides for mass incarceration of mostly blacks for minor crimes and disproportionately for the crimes they commit, not that whites commit. She takes advantage of it and boasts about it, and they're running as the progressive candidate. On the other hand, if you look at her cases against judges, people with political influence, how about a case of a guy she let go and the guy committed murder a short while later? You got one of the most irresponsible, set them loose prosecutors like the ones we have that Soros is electing all over the country now. So she's everything to everybody. She's about as pandering as he is. She's changed her position so many times it's impossible to track it without a scorecard. And it's not unlike her boss, who used to be anti-abortion all his life. He was a Catholic. He was anti-abortion. And, you know, 2 months ago he changed completely. She's a co-author.
So you're saying no
of the Green New
conviction, no
Deal
principles.
with AOC. None. Zero. No. She had a lot of convictions. A lot of them were overturned, and she's also been accused of prosecutorial misconduct in withholding significant evidence of innocence, including for a man who was on death row. At the same time, she's suspected of being involved in killing influential investigations and prosecutions for people who had political influence on her. It's the worst of both worlds, you know. You got the tough prosecutor, goes after everybody, nobody's going to stop him. She was that, except she wasn't. If there was some political thing involved, she'd sell out a case, she'd let a murderer go free, she wouldn't follow up on significant cases when the person was important. She was a prosecutor on the make, not a prosecutor trying to do justice. All she was thinking about is, how do I become attorney general? How do I become governor or senator? And okay, what lies do I have to tell? So she attacks Biden effectively for what come very close to statements and actions that make him look like a racist. Certainly if Biden were a Republican, there'd be no doubt he'd be called a racist. I don't think he is, but if he were a Republican, he'd be called a racist. She virtually called him a racist. He hurt her when she was a child because she was bused. Now she's on his ticket. That's principle. So I think what he's got here is, look, the vice president doesn't count for much, but if you want somebody that we can raise a million issues with, that this woman in no way should be within, you know.
I wanted to show y'all that. And so, but to close this out, like I said, is this, you know, we don't vote. I just wanted to show y'all because when this lady was set up, I mean, this has been in plan since 2017. So this is not new, or I'm not surprised that she was trying to run for president for 2020, but it got shot down. Why? Because her criminal record when she was a prosecutor attorney general was put up, and she had a debate, and people wasn't for that, locking up black people. So now she got a ticket as vice president. She's gonna take that, right? And this is the same woman, brothers and sisters, that allegedly her father, great grandfather, was an Irish slave owner in Jamaica. So we have to be mindful. We can't just say, "Oh, she's Jamaican." How is she Jamaican? So allegedly, like I said, I tried to look up some information. I saw some information here and there. I don't know. It needs to be vetted, but just to put that on your mind, that it's possible that her great-great-grandfather was a European Irish man who owned slaves. So it makes sense why she was locking black people up as slaves in prison. Also explains the Jewish husband, right? That's her business, whatever it may be. But black people, be mindful of what you're doing, right? Just don't vote for somebody because they black, they so-called look like you, they got a little melanin in they. Listen, be mindful of what you're doing here. Like Giuliani said, this the same lady said that Joe Biden was accused of sexual harassment or sexual assault. She said she believed that the women was saying was true. What they were saying against Biden was true. This the same woman that was speaking against Biden in a way to where she was almost calling him a racist. Now she's on his ticket. See, come on, brothers. So y'all gotta wake up and see what's going on here. All right. So with that, brothers, I'm gonna let y'all. We're gonna end this live stream here. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe to our channels. Please go over, if you're on Facebook, go over to YouTube. Type in the YouTube search "Breakin Babylon" with Elder Asiy'el. It's gonna pop up. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos. Also, if you're on Facebook, subscribe to our Facebook channels, Israelite Temple LG, and also our San Antonio page, Israelite Temple LGSA. Also keep in mind that we go live every Friday at 7:30 with our San Antonio body. Also we're live Saturday at 3 p.m. On our main channel on YouTube and also on Facebook. Right, so make sure you support the work. If you can't support the work financially, make sure you can share a video. It don't cost you much to share a video. Get this information out there. Also, do what you can, and most importantly, like we brought out earlier, brothers and sisters, especially those in the truth, make sure we stand on the path. Those that are seeking the path, reach out to us. IsraeliteTempleLG@gmail.com. Reach out to us if you want more information on what we teach, what we believe. Reach out to us, right? But know that the path that we're going now is against the Most High God. It's against nature. It's against the family, specifically the black family, Hispanic family. So what we see now is against family, and make sure we are doing what we can to change the narrative, okay? So with that,